What's up, everybody? It is 3:24 a.m. I've been playing Sonic Origins since midnight. So I figured I would make like a first impressions video because no, I haven't completed the new story mode. I haven't completed any of the games on the set as of yet. Like, I've completed these games outside of Origins, I just haven't completed the Origins versions of these games just yet. And my overall opinions of this set are... I'm sorry, but they're mixed. Also, guys, if you love Sonic the Hedgehog, why not hit that subscribe button? We got loads of Sonic content you guys are gonna love. If you are already subscribed, hit the like button, maybe leave me a nice comment. What's your favorite of the classic Sonic games, and what do you think of Sonic Origins? And of course, if you want to get that little bit closer to the action, you can join my cult by checking out the Patreon link in the description below and becoming a poible. If you've got all that done, you're the holy trifecta. You're cool, you're wild, and you're groovy. Hell yeah. There is a lot here to love. Like, when you boot this up, it's like a little mini theme park with all different little attractions to do and see. It's fun to like discuss with your friends what you're gonna do first, you know? Whether you want to do the story mode or play the games individually, whether you want to do it in 4:3 or 16:9, whether you want to try out the missions, there's lots to chew on here. And it's like, I would love to say that if you love the original games, you will love what's on offer here. While it might not be immediately evident, these games have been fully overhauled and reworked into this thing called the retro engine, which means they can go a little deeper and make new tweaks and add new functionality, which is how we've now got these games in widescreen with new features such as the drop dash and the spin dash. And yeah, games like Sonic 1, Sonic 3, and Sonic CD, I would definitely say are better than their original counterparts. But then there is Sonic 2, where I must admit I've encountered some rather unfortunate glitches. In fact, this isn't a rare instance and it's not something I had to seek out either. So, in Sonic 2, like, part of the fun is Sonic runs ahead, Tails gets lost off of the screen, and eventually you'll see his little defeated face hover back into the playing field as he sort of catches up. In this version, he doesn't do that. He instead gets stuck off screen and just decides to just jump like a maniac. Which is a pain in the ass because Sonic 2's soundtrack is so damn good, but all I'm hearing is this. So until that gets patched out, you might want to stick to just playing as Sonic. Sonic 2 almost kind of makes up for this with the feature of having like different combinations of characters to play as. And when I saw this in the trailer, I was really excited, thinking that this would be applicable to pretty much every game. I can understand why Sonic CD might be off limits to Knuckles, because of a lot of the functionality of those stages, so if you want to get your fix of Knuckles in Sonic CD stages, they got a little preview over on the Roblox Classic Sonic Simulator, but enough shilling for that. But then in, like, say, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, why can't I necessarily play as a duo of Tails and Knuckles, or Knuckles and Sonic? I guess it doesn't make much sense narratively, but then again, neither does Knuckles even being there in Sonic 2. And of course, if you want to get like the definitive canon experience, there is of course the story mode, where you're kind of forced to just play as the default characters. Now, my problem overall with Sonic Origins is that while what's here is fine, with the exception of the problems I have with the Sonic 2 remaster, the missed opportunities jump at you faster than Sonic in the Sonic 3 title screen. My problem with Sega's attitude towards these games exhibited in these so-called remasters or remakes, if you will, is that Sega are kind of operating under the presumption that these games are overall perfect, and the only real tweaks that were necessary were adding functionality like the spin dash, the drop dash, and a widescreen feature. Also, here's a depressing little revelation I had. After a couple of decades of in and out, on-off playing Sonic 1 over and over again, it's safe to say it's worn off on me. As when I started playing the story mode, I just couldn't help but think, man, this is a chore. I can't wait to get to the good ones. I think I'm just ready to admit that Sonic 1 is awkward and just a bit boring. Sure, there's ingenuity in there, but like, the game is not sure what to do with it. I think like Super Mario 64, this is a game where its historical significance outweighs its actual quality as an experience, and ends up being a little less than the sum of its parts. Heh. Good thing you two remove visible dislikes. And of course, for preservation's sake, they have offered a classic mode as well, while these new features are relegated to the anniversary mode. Classic mode comes complete with the 4:3 aspect ratio, and there's no drop dash or spin dash or anything like that. So there is quite a distinction between modes here, but like, considering that they, reworked these games into the retro engine to allow them to make tweaks to it, such as obviously the widescreen and adding the new functionality for Sonic, it makes you wonder why stop there, particularly with the matter of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is the slowest paced of the bunch because the level designs weren't really designed with Sonic's momentum in mind, so there's a lot more stop and go platforming and there's a lot more waiting around, particularly in things like water levels such as Labyrinth Zone and lava levels such as Marble Zone. These are things that will get remedied later on in Sonic 3 and Knuckles as they introduce the elemental shields, with fire shields allowing you to walk on things like lava and water shields allowing you to traverse water levels with a bit more ease provided you play skillfully. So if they're retroactively incorporating things such as the spin dash and the drop dash into anniversary mode, it leads me to wonder, why don't they also retroactively incorporate the shields into the anniversary mode? And to further make a case for that, the classic Sonic Simulator on Roblox literally does that. They add the bubble shields to Labyrinth Zone, they add the flame shields to Marble Zone. And because of that, they feel like much faster paced experiences. Now, you could say obviously there's preservation that does detract from the overall experience. Maybe if you want to play Sonic 1, play Sonic 1, If you want a better game, play a better game. But at the same time, if you're trying to make the ultimate versions of these games, if you're trying to, as they say in the trailer, redefine the classics, there's definitely more quality of life tweaks they can do than just putting it in widescreen, adding the spin and drop dash. I personally would say have the classic mode just be the classic mode, but still have classic mode in the 16:9 aspect ratio, because who really wants to play these games in 4:3 anymore? I'd say there's a lot of options for playing these games in 4:3, but then again I've heard that Sega intends on delisting those versions, which is awfully anti-consumer, but I can kind of understand why, is because, you don't want confusion. You don't want people thinking, oh, there's a better version of this out there and I accidentally bought this 4:3 crusty old version. I kind of get it. But I definitely think that they kind of held back on what they could have done with anniversary mode. When you're putting these things into this new engine to make tweaks, I don't understand why just stop at Sonic's own functionality. Why not make improvements to the level design? Because Sonic 1 has a tendency of throwing you a bone and then kicking you in the balls. Heck, Sonic Jam back in the 90s on the Sega Saturn, when they, repackaged their classics, they had different difficulty options to make the game a bit more fair for new players. The anniversary mode does away with the life system, which does admittedly eliminate a lot of the dread that I feel while playing some of those Sonic 1 levels, and definitely in the latter part of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as well. Now, there has of course been some controversy about the removal of the life system. Now in that place, you've got coins instead, which can buy you retries at the special stages and bonus premium content, which can consist of videos that you can admittedly watch on the official Sonic YouTube channel, music mostly from Sonic Generations, but you also get some great new artwork as well. There's a lot of content here, but I can't help but think it would feel better if this was all brand new content to this game. So there have been complaints in that removing the live system removes some of the incentive to explore and find like those one-up boxes, but at the same time in their place you've got the token boxes. And so, you get the reward of, unlocking stuff in the museum in exchange for that exploration. So I think it's kind of a moot point, personally. And there's plenty more challenge to this game than just the threat of death. And it's also quite nice that you can just revisit the last act you were playing as well, without having to start from Act 1 all over again. So yeah, it's definitely less of a kick in the balls. Speaking of balls, let's talk about some of the new game modes, such as like Blue Spheres for Sonic 3, where they basically made an entire game with a brand new twist out of the Blue Sphere stages, and I gotta say, really impressive what they've done there, and the artwork is beautiful. The boss rush options are a lot of fun as well, and very challenging too, with a lack of rings, surprisingly. Then there's mirror mode, which I didn't think would feel as weird as it does, but I found myself sitting at a weird angle while playing it, just because it just feels weird. It also kind of shows you how much of these Sonic games, when you get good at them, feel like muscle memory, as it's like, this feels just, it's strange, it is bizarre, but it's a really cool feature. I think my favorite new feature is the mission mode. Remember in Sonic Generations, we'd have like the main acts, the main stages, Act 1 and 2, and then you'd have these different missions, which would generally consist of like busy work, like, like they'll have like a swarm of different badniks come after you and you have to defeat a certain one and a certain amount in a certain time frame and stuff like that. It was a cool way of kind of padding out the game, Some missions were definitely better than others, but hey, it was a cool little extra thing to do, outside of the main story. And the same goes for this. I think the mission mode is absolutely a saving grace in regard to the price tag, which I'll talk a little more about later. But it's like just a little something extra from these classic games. A little bit of new Sonic 1 CD, 2, and 3 and Knuckles. What a confounding library of game titles you've got there, Sonic. What I don't understand, though, is why no multiplayer? These challenges feel competitive. In fact, there's a leaderboard as well. Why can't we have actual multiplayer as opposed to just leaderboards? Well, the multiplayer is left intact for Sonic 2 and 3. In fact, a little expanded upon. But I can't play it right now because I don't have a friend over. Because it's local multiplayer only. Jesus Christ, Sega. What do you have against online multiplayer? I don't understand. An online multiplayer function that not only would let you play through the multiplayer stages in Sonic 2 and 3, but could also maybe have a buddy tag along with you for the main stories, would be quite a selling point for this new collection. Which brings me to my kind of point about the price tag. It is still pretty difficult to justify the over $30 price tag for this game. I'd say wait for a price reduction, but given that this is online digital exclusive, Sega has full control over the value of this one, and I am 100% certain that that is intentional. I think this game definitely has issues with justifying that price tag. If you've never played any of these games before and it is a brand new experience to you, then go for it. And you know, if you are a huge Sonic fan with a massive stiffy for the classic Sonic games, then yeah, go for it. But anything in between, that's where I struggle to really justify it. Yes, these games have been remastered, but the difference between these remasters and the originals is not exactly night and day in spite of how much work probably went into this. And a lot of what's there to pad it out is available on YouTube on the official Sonic channel, and it's monetized. So like, really? I mean, like, I understand a lot of content is available on the internet, but like, through the official Sonic channel, I feel like if you're gonna put this as a part of this game, it needs to be harder to find when online. That's what I kind of think. Sonic Origins is like the perfect Sonic game for people that don't have internet connection. And I'll be real, if they just had some online multiplayer options, be it versus, co-op, both, and just more options for how you can play these games, I definitely think they could reach, you know, worth the price. You know what's really sad is, I think something they led a lot of their marketing in was the animated cutscenes, and they end up being just kind of a footnote in this review because that's kind of just how they are. They serve as a connective tissue in the story mode, which is great, but then outside of that, they're just kind of bookends to the games. They're beautifully animated, but I think in total there's about 5 minutes worth of new content there. What they showed us in the trailer looked like there was going to be a lot more cutscenes than there were. Like, it looked like there was going to be lots of cutscenes like between stages, more situational story stuff. Unfortunately, that's a montage at the start of the game. That's like your pre-title screen VM. Overall, it's difficult to pinpoint what the selling point of this collection is. It boasts redefining the classics, but I have to say that's quite a stretch. I think when you're gonna boast something like that and have this definitive collection of the originals, redefined for a new audience and packaged with the originals playable as well, which is what they've done here, a set like this, when I ask what more can you do, I need to draw a blank. I need to have minimal answers to that, but for this defining collection, I'm left asking, what more can you do for these games? You could add multiplayer options, online multiplayer options. You could implement some of the improvements that Sonic 3 and Knuckles brought to the table to the previous games, bringing them all to a similar level of quality. You could have T. Lopes go back and do the soundtracks for the anniversary editions. And that's kind of it, like with the style of this game and its really pretty menu screens and everything, it feels like it's trying to sort of coincide with Sonic Mania, like these two go hand in hand. But then like with Sonic Mania, it's just you've got like much better animations, you've got much better music. It would have just been cool to see them bring all of these games up to that sort of standard. Overall, I think Sonic Origins is pretty good. If you accept it for what it is, if you love these games for what they are, warts and all, it's good. And it probably has some of the best versions of these games, with the unfortunate exception being Sonic 2. But I just feel like Sega needs to aim higher now. So overall, I'm just a bit mixed. I kind of feel a bit weird about buying it twice now. I bought it on my Xbox Series S, and I bought it on Steam. The Steam version I bought with the intention of streaming it to YouTube. And with that one, I got all the DLC goodies as well, so we'll see if they bring anything interesting to the table. I really wish I could have been more positive. At the same time, though, I think there's going to be plenty of positivity surrounding this one. So, yeah, it's fine for what it is, I guess. Just a little overpriced, I would say. So what do you guys think? If you enjoyed this video and you want to support more like it, be sure to hit that big, beautiful subscribe button. And of course, in the description below are links to different social media feeds, including the Patreon. If you're feeling extra generous, like the following people, who are Marcus Ward, Sirius the Skeptic, Biotinarts, Mr. SP, David 20 Covers, Sergio, John Comey, Shodin, George is Lost, Legendary Ray Ray, Cheesemaster769, Adam Myers, and Fayalan Schwarzentraub. Thank you guys, you are the best of the best, but as for the rest of you, thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.